Welcome to this video on two-point perspective. Two-point perspective may seem complicated to some students at first, but once you understand the formula and practice, it gets a lot easier. This tutorial is going to be broken into 3 separate videos, drawing on, above, and below the horizon line. You can do all of your drawing on the same sheet of paper, but having the separate videos will make it easier for you to review anything that you feel you need reinforcement with. You are going to need a sheet of white paper. It could be computer paper, it can be drawing paper, just any piece of blank paper will do. You're going to need a ruler or something that you can make a straight edge with. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser. The first thing we're going to start with is a horizon line, and that's just a line that goes across your paper from the left to the right. I'm going to press kind of hard with my pencil so that you can see, but it's fine for you to draw lightly so that you'll be able to erase what you don't need later. The horizon line is where the ground and the sky meet. At each end of this line, we're going to put a little dot. One on the left side, one on the right side. Those are your vanishing points. That's where things go back into space. When you were in elementary or middle school, you may have learned how to draw using one-point perspective, and that's when you had one dot, kind of like a black hole, where everything went back into space. This time, we're going to be using 2 vanishing points instead. Learning this in Art 1 is, well, it's a great time to learn it, because when you go to Art 2, you'll have a basic understanding, and then you'll be able to apply other aspects of perspective to your work. So to start our 2-point perspective, we do have a basic formula that we can follow. And one is by starting with a vertical line, then connecting the top and bottom of that line to both of the vanishing points, defining the sides, and then erasing the unneeded lines. So I'm going to start over here. The first step is to draw a vertical line. I'm not measuring it or anything. I'm just drawing a line that goes somewhat above and somewhat below the horizon line there. Step 2 is to connect the top and bottom of that line with both vanishing points. So it's really important that you can see your vanishing point and the top of your line at the same time so that they're going to line up perfectly. Then do the same thing below. Line up the bottom of your line with your left vanishing point. And then you're going to take the top and the bottom and you're going to connect them to the right side vanishing point. And what you're going to end up with is something that looks a lot like a kite that's laying on its side. Step 3 is to define the sides with a vertical line to the left and to the right. So between the left vanishing point and this line here, my first line, my corner line, I'm just going to draw another straight line. Another vertical line there. Goes from the top to the bottom. And then I'm going to pick some place along this side to draw another vertical line, just right in between those 2 kite lines that we drew. Okay. Now, to put this box in space, we're going to want to get rid of any unnecessary lines. So because this is my box that's sitting on the ground here, I don't need these extra lines that are kind of tying it down to the ground anymore. So I'm just going to get my eraser. And you can see why drawing lightly will really help you in your work. So you're able to get rid of those completely. Mine's a little bit more challenging. Notice how I left the horizon line. I want to leave that in the center there for right now. Erase this line here and this line here. Okay. Now this box is probably not going to be see-through. So just inside of the box, and think about it as the start of a building or a cardboard box, something that you get delivered in the mail. We're going to get rid of the horizon line just inside of the box here. All right. So now we have a box that's sitting in space. And let's just practice. Let's do a second one and just follow that formula again. Draw a vertical line someplace that goes above and below the horizon line. Then we're going to line up the top of that line with the left vanishing point. I don't want to draw through the building. I'll just hop over it, the one that I've already made. And then I'm going to make sure that I can line up the bottom of my line with my left vanishing point. I'm going to hop over the box that I've already made. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the right. Okay, that was step 2. Step 3 is to define the sides with a vertical line to the left and to the right of this corner that we've created. You can make this as big as you want. And then we've got to put one on the right too. Last step, erase any unneeded lines. So we'll get rid of these lines that kind of tie it down to the vanishing point. And you've probably guessed that you're not going to eventually need to draw the lines all the way to the point, but my goal was to make sure that you understand the top and bottom of those lines need to line up perfectly with the vanishing point. And at least while you're practicing, it's good to draw those lines all the way across. And then inside of the box, we're going to get rid of the horizon line. So now, I apologize for these smudges here. I have 2 boxes that are sitting in space. They could be buildings on a street. They could just be boxes. I'm going to clean up my paper just a little bit. And when we come back, we will be drawing some cubes, some boxes above the horizon line.